Yeah, good evening.
So, good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Shay, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
can hear
Okay.
you.
Hello,
Okay.
can every other person hear you, please?
Okay. I'm Aila Vega
Just
Abdurrahim.
Yes,
can
we can. We can.
I'm Aila Vega Abdurrahim, a 400 level student of mathematics with statistics of Federal University of Technology, Mina. I've been I've been following the training for the past 2 days, and it has been really impactful. I've had experience in Microsoft SQL Server, Power BI, Tableau, SSIS, SSRS, and SSES. I've had interest in the technology environment for the past 4 years now, and it has been really, really, really challenging. Though it was really, I had mentors and they encouraged me, and so for the past few days I've been with in the training now. I've gained a lot, and I've like added to my knowledge, and I'm glad I'm joining the class now again. So I want to thank you guys for carrying us all along, and I pray God will keep empowering you guys and keep like I I will just end it here so somebody else can just talk.
All right. Nice one, Abdul Rahim. Did I get the name correctly?
Yes, 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 yes. You did.
All right, great. Nice one. I think you were part of the people that reached out to me, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
yes, yes. I reached out to you. Yes, 2 days ago.
All right. All right, no problems. Thank you. So, what is one thing you can pinpoint that you've learned so far, at least from Mr. Trips? What's that one thing? Just one
Okay.
thing you can hold and say, this is what I've learned. All right.
Okay. I learned this thing. The Power BI. The this thing. The analytical part that was done
Okay.
yesterday. Yes, I
Great.
got few more knowledge, including what I know regarding that part. So, and I'm glad I was able to attend the class yesterday, and I'm really
All right.
grateful.
All right. You trust me, even with all your wealth of experiences in SSIS, SSRS, and the rest of them, trust me, you'll be thrilled today.
That
uh, I said you'll be thrilled today. I'm very sure Mr. Chukutem is smiling right now when I said you'll be thrilled today because of the person I'm in the class. He's one
okay,
of a
okay,
kind, trust me. Just tighten up your seatbelt.
okay, sir,
I
okay,
think you're
sir,
one of the persons. Anyway, we'll talk about what we spoke about privately later on. All right.
okay, okay, sir, okay, sir.
All right. All right. So, any other person wants to go next? Hello. Okay. Ogene Obina, do you want to talk? I can see your hand up. Obina, you can go ahead if you want to speak. Share your money. You can go ahead, please. Unmute yourself and talk. Share or money. Are you there?
Okay, hello.
Yeah. Please go
Yeah,
ahead.
good evening, Mr. Harrison, and good evening, house. I'm Omoni Shea by name, and I'm a mechanical engineer by profession. I work for the Candel Company Limited. That's what I do, and I really appreciate, and it has really been awesome and wonderful joining this training program because at some point I used to find it difficult to use data analytical tools at my previous place of work where I will be um, given a system to input based on our workload, how to schedule work like that. So I really find it difficult. So when I saw this opportunity, I'm trying to put my best in it and gain more from it so that to be able to help me in my place of work.
All right. All right. All right. Great. Great. Thank you for speaking up, Mr. Omani. Great experience you shared. All right, just so you know, Resolytics is planning a cohort for January. That's for everyone on the call. Just to buttress what you said, that you were finding it difficult to learn to use some of all these tools and all that. So we'll be going into in-depth analytical practices. All right, using Microsoft Excel. A lot of that will be spoken about towards the end of today's training. All right, so I'll give you guys more information about that, and you can also reach out to us. And please stay tuned to our social media channels. Stay tuned to make sure you don't ghost us. That's another thing I need to tell you guys. Please don't ghost us, because if you ghost us, you are going to be ghosted too. We are committed to actually mentoring people. We have a lot of people we've mentored so far. We actually helped some people get placements, and also both IT placements and job placements. All right, so we are looking forward to actually expanding and going that far. All right, but if you ghost us, let's say for example, you come in the next 6 months and then you send me a message and you're reminding me of what happened like 6 months. I mean, please don't ghost us. Please stay close to us and stay glued to our social media channels so that you get real-time information as time goes by. Any other person? Let's hear one more person before we call our trainer for today. One more person, please. Just one more. Maybe this time a woman, possibly a female. Is there any woman on the call right now? Or sometimes this name. Anyone wants to speak? Okay, any other person can speak,
Hello.
please. All
Hello.
right, go ahead, please.
Yes, my name is Ibrahim Odeshola. I am a chartered accountant by profession and also a chartered stockbroker and a fellow of enterprise professional. I'm presently a CFO in one of the subsidiary of one of the listed insurance company in Nigeria. I think I've really gained so much knowledge in this training session. The first day, which we are taking Excel, and a very great one for me then was how we were able to link to an external source, a data, we're now able to analyze. We use a COVID test results globally to do some analytics. While yesterday, the use of Power BI, which is like presenting a dashboard, as against the use of physically using Excel to do it. I know Excel could do it. I think Power BI was actually make it much. Of course, I've taken one or two training in Power BI, but I've never put my hand on it. That yesterday
Wow.
when it was used, I think I love it. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you very much for speaking out. Yeah, I like that. All right. So just so you know, let me quickly say this also before I escapes my mind. Just so you know, currently Resolutely, actually, we are open to partnerships. We're open to training companies. Actually, if you go through our social media handles, especially our Instagram and Facebook, which we're more active on, you see a couple of things where we talk about some of the things we could do to help companies grow. So Resolytics, just as the name implies, Resolytics. So we intend to resolve companies' problem using analytics. All right. So we are looking forward to, if you have an opportunity for us to come train a company, train your staffs. Let's say you want us, just like you said, Mr. Odeshola, right? Did I get the name correctly?
Yes,
All
yes.
right, just like you said, you've gone on trainings, but you've never used the tools. Let's say, for example, we have, I don't know the rest of us, but we might not have time to meet the rest of us here because our trainer has to come on board right now. Yeah, let's say, for example, you have the opportunity to want to train some staffs of your company and all of that. You can always reach out to us, and that's part of the things we do. We've trained for federal government bodies, we've trained for foreign bodies, and we're also looking forward to more partnerships. All right. So I think that's all for now. Which does any other person want to talk? I think it's enough right now, so we can just get our hands dirty with, because today we are looking at using Microsoft SQL Server for analysis. Share your money. You want to say something? Okay. All right, please. Every other person should please mute their mic once the speaker comes on board. So the speaker is Mr. Ayodiji Folarin. He's a mentor and that's why I said I wanted him to be on board. All right. So he has lectured both within and outside Africa. Currently, he's one of the MVPs, one of the oh, okay. He's one of the MVPs of Nigeria, Microsoft most valuable professional. So when he tells you something on this call, know that he knows what he's saying. All right. He has trained both, like I said earlier, both within and outside the shores of Africa, both physically and virtually. Yeah. And I'm actually proud to be one of his products. And that is why we are doing what we are doing today. Even Mr. Tricks also on the call. All right. So today we actually had to call him to tell him to leave all his tight schedule and all this busy schedule. That we have some very wonderful people that we are actually giving free stuff to as our social responsibilities this period. And he decided to come also because he's also one of the evangelists. Yeah, he calls himself Microsoft evangelist, one of the evangelists of analytics here in Africa. So thank you very much, Mr. Ayodeji, for coming on board. The floor is yours now. Do you want me to read this? Should I read this? Should I go through this? Mr. Chooks? Hello?
Yes, you can go ahead.
You want me to go through this? Okay, Mr. Folarin, your floor is yours.
So, thank you. Okay, let me switch over to my screen. Okay, before I start, let me just put on my camera, which I'm going to off shortly, so that you can put a face to who is actually talking. So my name is Ayodeji Folarin. So at the moment, I'm going to put off my camera. So when we get to discussion time, I can put it on again. Okay, so over to my screen. Confirm you can see my screen. Can somebody confirm? Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, of course. You can see your screen.
Can see your screen.
Okay, so good evening all. We're actually looking at a topic, Introduction to Data Analytics. And we are looking at three major tools. One of them is Microsoft Excel, using it for data analytics, Microsoft Power BI, and Microsoft SQL Server. So, today I'll be talking about Microsoft SQL Server today as a tool that you can use for data analytics. So, the brief introduction. So Harry has actually done lot as far as introduction is concerned. And once again, I am Ayodeji Folarin, a Microsoft most valuable professional on data platform, a Microsoft certified trainer, and also I have my master's in business administration focused on financial management. So I'm a computer science graduate and I've been doing lots as far as training is concerned for several years, over 23 years now. And I've trained well over 200,000 participants around the globe. I enjoy things around Microsoft Office, SQL Server, and Power BI. I'm a project manager, a system and a business analyst. I specialize in building data warehouse. That is one of the things we're going to talk about today, using SQL Server to build data warehouse. And also, I am a business intelligence consultant, a dashboard reporting expert. Now, let us talk about database. What exactly is database? We've learned Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel, to an extent, can be described as a database, but not structured. So if you call it a database, fine, it's keeping records, but it's not keeping it the way a structured database system should keep your database. Now, what's a database? A database simply means a collection of information organized in a way that a computer program can quickly select desired piece of data. Now, so I want you to look at a database as a filing system, but this time an electronic filing system. So like keeping all your transaction information electronically using Microsoft Excel, as I've said, but using some heavy database tool like Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, Postgre, IBM DB. These are professional ways of keeping your database. You're keeping your records, your files. So these are much more organized way compared to Microsoft Excel. For example, if we take a look at Excel, there is a column on Excel that you want to put on that column date of birth. If along the line somebody now type name under that column date of birth, Excel will take it, except you put some conditional formatting on it. So whereby you can instruct it that look, data validation, validate the data that is there. If it's not a date, then let me know. Now you can do that, but there is also a limit to what you can do. But using a much more structured database, then you can tell yourself that no, you have your data well kept for you. But keeping your database is different from using it for data analysis. Microsoft SQL Server is a powerful tool, not only for database keeping, also to do your what? Data analysis. So when you talk about SQL, let's quickly look at the overview. SQL simply stands for a structured query language. It's a language, it's a standard language anybody can use, not only Microsoft. It's a standard language across all RDBMS. What is RDBMS? RDBMS simply stands for Relational Database Management System. So it's a system whereby, okay, a database management system that manages data as a collection of tables in which all relationships are represented by common values in related tables. So these are just having several tables come together, stay in a database, and being able to manage that database very well. So now when you talk about having your database as RDBMS, Microsoft Excel is not an RDBMS, neither your Power BI is not a database management system. They are majorly to help you analyze what you already have in the database. But SQL Server can allow you to do much more. Number one, it can allow you to do things around keeping your database in a much more structured way. And number two, it can help you build what we call a data warehouse by bringing in all data from different sources. Like in Microsoft Excel, we saw the way we brought in data from different sources to Excel. In Power BI, we did the same thing. We connected to different sources to bring in data. So you can do exactly the same thing. But when you are trying to do that in SQL Server, you say you are building a warehouse so that you can have all your data coming from different sources into a particular place. And that place is called your data warehouse. And one of the tools you use is one of the components of Microsoft SQL Server, popularly known as SSIS, SQL Server Integration Services. Help you bring in all data from far and near into a particular server. Now, once you are done with that, we now want to do some serious data analysis. To do your data analysis and data modeling, then in Power BI or Excel, we start using tools like your DAS, your formulas, your functions in Excel, your DAS in Power BI, but here you can use also your DAS, and I'm going to keep our discussion more around DAS. It's much more friendlier than MDS, multi-dimensional expression, but we are keeping it to what? DAS, data analysis expression. But Microsoft SQL Server allows you to do both. And finally, when you get to the point of generating your reports, then you'll be using tools like SSRS, that is SQL Server Reporting Services. Put these three tools I've mentioned together, that is what form your MSBI. For those that want to take Power BI technical, then get ready to learn more around MSBI. But we cannot touch all those things without having a good knowledge of the SQL environment. Now, the SQL environment, you keep seeing us mentioning things like catalog, schema, DDL, DML or SQL, and DCL. So all these terms, if anybody tell you, I want to issue a DDL command, don't let them frighten you with those terms. Let's break down those terms so that you can understand everything about SQL. Number one, catalog. Catalog is a set of schemas that constitute the description of a database. That is what describes your database. And your schema, that is a structure that contains description of objects created by user, like your table, your view, your constraints. Those are the things that come together to form your database. So that is what you mean by the schema. Now, the next one where I want us to pay attention on is your DDL. That simply means data definition language. What is data definition language? They are commands, because now Power BI says low code. You can do a complete analysis without writing a single line of code. But SQL, you can't run away from code. You must learn and understand how to write all these languages. The DDL, the DML, the SQL, the DCL, you should be able to issue those languages. And don't think they are complex language. It's a language, if you are determined within 1 week, you can start speaking SQL. So now, so the data definition language, these are commands that define a database. How do you want your database to look? I want to create a database. You use your DDL language to do that. The database that I created, there's a correction I need to do. I want to alter it. You use it to alter what you've done. Apart from that, I want to create a table. I want to create a view. I want to drop a table. I want to do anything that has to do with a creation of what? Database, table, or anything I want to create. Then I will make use of my DDL language. Majorly, you create, you drop, you alter. Those are the major commands you use under DDL. There is another popular one called DML. Your data manipulation language, that is where you spend most of your time. These are commands that maintain and query a database. So this is where SQL falls in. If somebody should tell you, I want SQL, they are telling you to issue a script that will query the database. Any question anybody may want to ask, you can issue a single line of query that will answer that question immediately. So that is what we mean by our words, our data manipulation language. And finally, we have the DCL, which stands for data control language. Data control language is majorly used by database administrators. These are commands that controls a database privileges. Who has rights to this database and what can it do? Does it have the right to modify the database or delete content from the database, or it can only see the database, or it is not even a staff of the company again? I want to revoke his access. We use this language to manage, to administer privileges on our database. So I hope we are not going to forget all this: DDL, DML, DCL. Now let's quickly look at the version of SQL Server that we have. SQL Server started far back 1989, and I started using it 1998. That is, I joined them on SQL Server 7. And since that time till today, I've used all the version down till the latest version that was released some weeks ago. That is 2022 version of SQL Server. So if you can see on the screen, there are different versions of SQL Server, and all these versions, you can actually download them from the official website of Microsoft and use them. So you can use any of the version up to 2019. They just released one, so that is 2022. But I think it's still in its beta stage. And also we have one that is ever updated every day. That is Azure SQL. So that's a discussion for another time. For those of you that are interested in taking your SQL knowledge to the cloud, then all these versions on the screen, forget about them and go and pay more attention on Azure SQL. So now let's look at the edition of SQL. We have different editions. So please, if you don't want issue with Microsoft, please use any of these other editions like Developer Edition and Express Edition and Compact Edition. These are more like editions that are free. Microsoft will not disturb you if you are using any of these editions. Now, let me quickly talk about them. The Compact Edition is a small edition for those of you that want to be developing application for mobile devices and you feel like having an SQL Server database that can run on mobile device that will not take too much space, then go for the Compact Edition. Or you want one edition that you can easily fly on any system, even for your clients. I don't want Microsoft to come and hold you for license. So no problem, you can work with the Express Edition. The Developer Edition is like the Standard or Enterprise Edition, but Microsoft will not allow you to deploy any application with the Developer Edition. I'm saying this again. You can use it personally to learn, to see how the standard or enterprise environment looks like, but don't ever use it to deploy solution for any company because it's not meant for them, it's meant for you as a developer, somebody learning, practicing. Now, let's look at the main edition that Microsoft concentrates effort on. Edition like the Enterprise Edition, that's a very big edition. A company can buy and set up. It can support anything a company wants to do as far as relational database management system is concerned. And the next one after that one is a Standard Edition. Standard Edition is just like the Enterprise Edition, but you can do things more around, just by the name Enterprise, you know what Enterprise stands for. And the next edition that is key to our discussion today is the BI edition. For those of you that wants to go into serious business intelligence, so this is a wonderful tool that you can leverage on. So But Microsoft has actually pulled this out to stay on its own. They now call it SSDT. This term is getting too much. SSDT stands for SQL Server Data Tool. That is where you can do your BI, your business intelligence easily. So please, these are the tools you need to download and install. So please, I'm going to say it again. If you really want to go into business intelligence using SQL Server, which is the enterprise end of this work, Power BI and Excel, they are self-service. Self-service in the sense that it's not for enterprise organization. It's just for you, for your department, small team. But when you are talking about a real end-to-end solution, then you are talking about business intelligence. You are talking about the full stack, the MSBI. So at that point, then go and download your SSDT, SQL Server Database Engine, and finally download SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. And please keep the version you are downloading in mind, so that everything will flow, will sync. If you know you are going for 2019, go for the SSDT that would fit your 2019, and also go for the SSMS that will fit for the 2019. The last one is the Azure SQL database. This is, you don't need to install anything. All you just need is your Azure subscription, and you can use the Azure SQL database. This is the cloud. Most organizations are moving from what they have in their office. They are moving their solution, their database, their framework to the cloud. So for those of you that have been interested in that, I will also encourage you, that is the future. So the earlier you position yourself, the better you become. So, but when we're talking about the full training, today I'm just to touch so many things, talk about it, and allow us ask me questions. But by January, we are planning the full stack training. Then at that point, we can now pick them and dissect them inside out. Now, what are the things we'll be doing today? You want to start the SSMS, you want to connect to a database, you want to write some sample scripts and execute the scripts. Time will not permit us to do things around SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS. That is the BI stack that I mentioned. So that's the BI stack that I mentioned. So time will not permit us to do things around this guy here. But we are going to explore the SQL database so that after today, you can start something on your own. But later, we can now go into the BI proper for data analytics. Now, how do we start your SSMS? You must have SQL Server Engine running on your system. If you don't have it, please go and download Microsoft SQL Server Engine, and you can download the engine for any of these versions, 2016, 2017, 2019, or I will not recommend this for now. Just download any of these. And when you download it, also be conscious of the edition you are downloading. Please, for these two, don't stress yourself downloading these two, but you can download any of these. But I would recommend strongly download the developer edition. It's the one that is closer to this family. So the Express and the Compact, they are very small. But this has the full version. As a developer, please download this and start whatsoever I'm going to show you today, start it immediately. So that is the first thing. The second thing we're going to do, we want to connect to that SQL server. This is a studio. This is a studio that can help you connect to any SQL server anywhere. If somebody should tell me that you have a server in the cloud now, I just need some things from you. Once you give me the major thing I need, the name of the server, the username, the password, and the database I should talk to. If you can give me those 4 things, I tell you, I can connect to the server with my SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. Please, SQL Server Management Studio is free. That's the second thing you should download. The first thing you should download is your SQL Server version. That's the number 1 thing you should download. Now, number 2 thing you should download is the SSMS. Download it and install it. And please, when downloading, be conscious of the version so that you not download one version that is far from another version. So that is 2. And number 3 things you need to download because you want to. Yes. Hello?
Uh, everyone, keep questions. Please keep questions after the class. I can see someone raising his hand. Please keep your questions till after the class.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, if it's a question that will be in.
Go ahead, sir.
Please let him go ahead with the question. Oluwatomisin, your question, please. So I will not go too far before addressing those questions. It won't be goes back. Oluwatomisin, your question, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah. It's a great training. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah,
I want to ask that did you at any point work with PostgreSQL or MySQL?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Okay, no problem.
Now,
maybe I'll suspend my questions till after the class. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. So please, PostgreSQL, MySQL, they are also database management system, but they cannot do the BI tool. Everything you are going to learn today, Postgre will do it for you. MySQL will do it for you. But if you want to go into MSBI, and that's the focus of this training, the business intelligence part, then Postgre or MySQL will not do that for you because they don't have the tool for a complete data warehouse like Oracle. Oracle has that tool for the complete data warehouse. So let's move on to the slide. Thank you very much for that question. Okay, so now, so connecting to your SQL server. So when connecting, I might decide not to connect to SQL server. I might decide to connect to Postgre, as he has mentioned, or connect to Oracle, connect to MySQL, no problem. So now working with Object Explorer, scripting and executing our queries. So how do we launch SSMS and how do we use them? So I think it's time to go into practical sections now. Okay, so I'm going to start my section by going to my SQL server. I know the question somebody will ask me is this. You've already installed SQL Server. How will I install my own SQL Server? Wow. The installation process is not something I will run through within a few minutes, but let me guide you. Let me go to a browser. So from your browser, you can say download Microsoft SQL Server 20. Can you see the Express is already coming up? So, but this is another tool. You remember I mentioned Management Studio. This is the SSMS I mentioned. But before you do this one, please first of all download the server you want. Is it 2019 Express or 2019 Developer or anyone you want? But I want to download for example, 2014, or 2014 is too far, 2016 developer edition is the one I would like to download. But please, if you download this developer edition, it's an engine that you cannot see. It's just like an engine in your car. It's not going to work. It's not going to, the engine is just there. Without the body and other parts of the car, you won't be able to use it. For you to be able to use it, then you need to download the same 2016 Management Studio. Please, by downloading the developer edition of 2016, does not say I can start using it. No. So please, there are two things: the engine itself and the Management Studio. So let me click on this. So when I click, so it will take me to a place where I can download, but make sure you are on Microsoft site, please. Because there are so many sites there that can allow you to do different things, but make sure you're on Microsoft site. So it's telling me, it's taking me to the latest version. That's download the developer edition or the Express edition. So you are free, but I want the older version. So let me see if there's a link for the older version of SQL Server. Oh, I'm happy I'm here. Please, this site, let me copy it and drop it. This site is a good site. Control C. Let me drop it on the. Oh, I cannot drop comments. Harry. I can't drop my comments. How can I share this with you? Okay. Let me drop it on your website.
Just drop
Okay. I've dropped it on your what's it called? On your WhatsApp. So please share it then. Share it with the group on the group. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, that is one. Please, this site has everything I'm looking for. Please, all of you, look at what I'm talking about here. Download SQL Server Management Studio, SSMS. This is key. But you install this one when you are done with the engine itself. The engine is the one at the top here. So SQL Server on-premise. This is one on-premise. This is the SQL Server in the cloud. That's the Azure. So SQL Server at the edge. So you can pick the developer version of SQL Server, which is this is the latest version of SQL Server, or you can actually pick on any other version you want. Since 2016, Microsoft released SQL Server for Linux. For those of you that enjoy Linux, you can still run SQL Server also on what? On Linux. Now, for those of you that want to do business intelligence with SQL Server, please don't stop here. This is like just a database. At this point, it's like your what's it called? Your Postgre is like your MySQL at this point. But you need to take a step further to do things around business intelligence. So if you want to do that, then you must come back to download SSDT. This will help you. It's just like Visual Studio. So if time permits me, I will open my screen for you to see how it looks. So once you have these two plus the real engine, which is this one, then you are good to go. So that is that about that. So any question at those points? I want to see the old previous version. If you want any of the previous version, 2008, 2016, there is no 2014. 2012 is also there. But if you want any of the previous version, you can pick it from here. So just pick it, but don't forget to always pick this one so that you can use it, not just the engine. And once you are done with those two, the next thing is to launch your management studio. How do we launch our management studio? The icon is like this. Once you are done with the installation, click on Start and type your SQL. Look at it. Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio 18. That is the one I installed. So just launch it. When you click on it, then a screen that looks like this will come up. But when you have this screen that looks like this, the next thing is to connect. By default, it should, okay, let me close it. So that don't let me talk from what you already know. Close, close, close. Let me open it. SQL Management Studio. The icon is like this. You can launch it. I already have it on my taskbar because I use it all the time. So Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. This is not the engine. Now, once you launch the Management Studio, at this point, it will ask you, database engine, which one do you want to connect to? You can connect to any of these things. I can connect to Analysis Service. That is SSAS. That's for BI work. I can connect to Reporting Service, SSRS. I can connect to Integration Services, SSIS. I can even connect to Azure SSIS Integration Runtime in the cloud. So, but what I'm talking about today is just the engine. Now, I've selected the engine. Now, it's not asking me what is the name of the server. Like I said, if any of you should give me a server name, the username and the password, I will just put your login and the password. Yours truly, I will connect to that SQL Server database. I don't care where the database is, but once I have those parameters, I'm good to go in. So the server I would like to connect to, there are a lot of servers I've been working with lately. This is on Azure. This is on a server for a company. This is on my system. I want to connect to SQL Server 2008 Release 2 R2 that is on my own system. It will not ask me what is your username and password. If I use window authentication, that means the login I use to log into my Windows has permission. Let me test. If not, I must select SA and put my login, username, and my password to go in. But let me see if my window authentication has permission. With window authentication, I will click on connect. During installation, it will ask you, do you want your window to sign in and do you want to have a sign in? So please, when you download and you are running through the installation process, take your time to read through. If you have issue, Google is your friend, and you can go to YouTube to read up the installation process. But like I said, the full training, we will take it step by step to get this thing done. I want to make sure you, at least I'm able to do one or two things today. If you spend the whole day to install, it won't be too nice for us. So I have connected to the database. And the next question, I might be interested. This database I connected to, what is the version? Remember when I was running through my slide, I mentioned different versions of SQL Server that we have. I want to know the version I'm running. I can always check my version by clicking on what? New query. On my new query, this is where we issue our command. And what is the command I want to issue at the moment? The command is help me select. Select what? Version. Please, if I'm selecting version, you must put, because it's actually one of the function, inbuilt function in SQL Server. So you must come with what? @ before it. So I will select it, @ version. And I will click on what? Execute. It's telling me that I am running SQL Server 2008 Release 2. And this is the edition. I mean, this is the version number, version 10.5. So if you go back to my slide, the version, oh, I did not put it, is the release here. These are the version. So this is the version, the release time. For 2019, the version is 15. For 2017, the version is what? Is 14. But for 2008, R2, the version is 13. So please, let us see. I mean, the version is 10, sorry. The version is 10 for 2008 R2. So that is that about the version. Now that I've connected to SQL Server, what can I do? My SQL Server is actually a server that can hold lots and lots of databases. So if you look at the side here, it's telling me database, security. I can grant somebody access. If I want to grant you access, it's just to create an account for you. Once I do that, then you can have access to my database. So that is security. Now, apart from security, the next one is what? All the other server objects. If I want to do replication and so on, we don't have business with all these at the moment because we are not database administrator, we are data analysts. So I want to come to the database. Let me expand the database. At the moment, I have 3 databases here. Number 1, I have movies, I have data science DB, and I have adventure works DW 2008 R2. This is a database from Microsoft. I quickly downloaded it now. So if you want to download the database, please, the database is free. This is a link to download Adventure Work database. I downloaded 2008 because that's the version I'm running. You cannot go and install SQL Server 2008 and expect Adventure Work 2019 to work. No. So if you want to have a sample database to play with, they are all here. Let me copy this link also and send it to Harry. So don't worry, it will get to you. It will get to you. So that is that. And back to my screen. So at this point, the first question is this. I want to create a database. Don't forget that I mentioned things around DDL. DDL is data definition language. Used to describe your data. I want to create a database and I want to call the database. What should I call the database now? Okay. Let me look for a name on the screen. Adeleke. I want to call the database Adeleke. Now I can say create. Create what? What am I creating? Create for me a database. What is the name of the database? Adeleke. Now, so with this instruction, what's wrong with my keyboard? Create for me a database. The name of the database should be called Adeleke. Now, have given an instruction. This type of instruction is called a DDL. I'm defining something, an object in my database. And what am I defining? I'm defining a database that should be called what? Adeleke. Let me highlight that instruction. I might have several lines of instruction here. If I execute, it's going to execute all of them. But because I just want to execute this line, I will highlight this line and say what? Execute. Now it's telling me command completed successfully. That means he has done the instruction I give to it. But I can't see it here. Don't worry. Always come here. Because I expected the database to be part of the database. Right click on the databases and say kindly refresh. So there is a new database amongst my database called what? Adeleke. Adeleke is a database. But what do you have in the database? Let me open it. A database is supposed to contain all these things. Tables, view, contain things like synonyms, database diagram, programmability, where you put your functions, and so on. But let me come to the table. The table is blank. There is no table here. But let's check the one I downloaded just now from Microsoft, Adventure Works. Let me expand it. Can you see it has so many tables in it? So we can actually learn how to create a table within your work. Please, for those of you that have downloaded AdventureWorks, how do you put it on your database? Very simple. Just right click on database, then you see restore. Because what you downloaded is a backup file. Can you see? It's a BAK file. BAK means backup. Make sure you download it somewhere and you know where it's located. So once you know where it's located, right click here and say attach. Attach what? I want to attach, no, sorry, I'm not attaching. I want to restore. Right click, restore a database. I want to restore a database from a device. Now browse and go and locate it by clicking on add. Go to where the database is. Let's assume this is a data assumption. I've browsed. Okay, let me even look for the one I downloaded. Is in user, under user, download folder, AdventureWorks. This is the one I just downloaded. And I'll click on OK. I'll click on OK. At this point, all I need to do is to click on what? OK. And once I click on OK, it will start to restore the database. And as it's restoring, it will tell you done and tell me it has successfully restored that database. That is what I have here at the moment. So this is a AdventureWorks. So that is that. For those of you that will be downloading it, is a very simple way. Right click and restore, not attach. So back to the Adeleke database I've just created. Now, the next thing I want to do, I want to create a table. A table is what is going to hold my data. Collection of tables is a database. And a table is made up of rows and columns, just like your Microsoft Excel. Sheet 1 contains rows and columns. That sheet 1 is an example of a table. Sheet 2 is another table. Sheet 3 is another table. By the time you have 20 sheets, worksheets that contains data, then put it together, that book in Excel is an example of a what? Of a database. So I want to prepare a worksheet so I can keep my information in that worksheet. So what will I do? At this point, I need to create again. I'm creating this time not a database, but a table. I'm creating a table. What is the name of that table? I want the table to keep information for me. Let me launch my Excel so that we can understand the similarity between Excel and SQL Server or MySQL or PostgreSQL or IBM DB, any database. I want to create a database that can keep something like name, after name, address, after address, age, after age, salary. I want to have something as simple as this. In Excel, I've created the table. I can start name, Ayodeji, address, Lagos, age, 22, salary, 120,000. And I will continue to fill the information here. But the problem here is this. This table I just created, the name of the table, let me call it staff table, staff TB. I want to create a table called staff table with the following columns. That is what I'm trying to do. Now, how will I go about this? Create table. What is the name of my table? Staff. And my staff TB should contain the following column. Column number 1 should contain staff name. The staff name should be what? If it's Excel, I'm done. Staff name, comma, the next one after staff name. Sorry, let me go and check again my Excel. Address, age, and salary. Address, comma, age, comma, salary. And I'll close my brackets. But can you see red line across that? Young man, I will not allow you to go. You've not defined the type of data that should come into all these things you've typed here. Let me know the type of data that should come in. Now, in the manual, in this slide, I think I'm going to share the slide with you. I have different types, data types that you can work with. We have string, we have number for numbers, numeric. We have Boolean, and also all these things where you can use them, be it Oracle, is similar. So we have date time, timestamp, and so on and so forth. So please feel free to use any of them. But when you are talking about string, what are the things you can use? You can use char, C-H-A-R, and you specify the number of characters you want it to take. But the dangerous part here is this. If I say name, the number of character name should take name, character, maybe let's say car 10. The implication here is this. I have specified that the name should be 10 characters. Now, a name like Ayodeji, it will not complain. Now, look at a name like Oluwafẹ́rànmi Dada. Wow, let's count this. Let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is the meaning. That means it cannot take more than this. The remaining part, it will cut them off or reject it that, look, I will not allow you to submit this name because the number of characters specified is 10. Now, somebody's name is Ojo, O-J-O. The number of character here is what? 3. But the man said character what? 10. The problem with why I don't like using character is that this Ojo, despite the fact that it is 3 character, in the storage, it's going to take 10 spaces. It's going to still take 7 extra spaces that you never use now and forever. But we'll just keep it because it said 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You will still keep 3 extra character here. But instead of using this, I prefer to use variable character. Variable means reserve a space of 10. But if the person types 7 character, I just vary yourself to that 7. Don't waste that extra 3 spaces. The same thing, Ojo, do the same thing. Don't waste. And if it is more than 10, cut the remaining off. I don't need it. Just keep to 10. Or if I say vaca maximum, this means something different. I don't care what the person type, take it. But always adjust yourself to pick what we needed. So those are the things that we have here, explaining to you how you use all those characters. Now, I can use them as vaca. I can use it as what? Int. I am free. Int means is a number, is integer. It does not have a decimal place. Now let's go back to our work. So my staff name, what should I use? How many space should I recommend for the variable character? For name, I don't think anybody's name can be more than 60 characters. But thank God I make it variable character, it will not eat up my space. But if I make it ordinary character and your name is not to 60, I'm just wasting the computer storage. Now, number 2, address. Address also, I would prefer vaca. But this time, let me put it as vaca 255. For age is an integer because somebody cannot be 12.3 years old. It's either you are 12 or you are 13. Or quantity will be integer. But salary cannot be integer. What do you think I should use for salary? If you use integer, it will not allow you to put decimal point places. So there are other data type like floats, like money, like what other things do you have there? There are many. So, but just permit me to use int also. Int is not professionally correct, but permit me to use int. And the last line, I love to finish my statement with semicolon. Is professional. So put semicolon at the end of your SQL statement. Now, I can execute this. Please execute. This has created a table for me with 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, just like what you saw in Excel. Now, let's check it out. My table, right click, refresh the table so that I can see. I thought I created a table. Oh, please, I created a table that has gone to master. Please, when you create your database, let SQL Server know that you want to use that database by typing use and mention the database. Use Adeleke. I know you have several databases there, but use this one called Adeleke. Let me run this statement. At this point, it's using master. If I run this line, you see that master will change to Adeleke. But for lazy people like us that don't like typing command, you can come here and select the database you want to use that use Adeleke. But please don't forget, the more you use code, the better you become. Let's start to learn how to use code. This is not low code environment. This is high coding environment. So now use Adeleke. After you use Adeleke, then run this command for me. So let me come back and refresh my Adeleke. Refresh, check the table. This is the database, the table I just created. Let me right click and open the database. The table. So the table, can you see the table? Well structured, just like my Excel table. Now, the advantage here is this. I can connect a website. I can connect an application to dump their data they collect from people, to dump it here easily. So that is beautiful. Now, I can even type my information here, but I'm not going to type the information here like this. I'm also going to use script to type it. If it's Excel, you just come here and start typing, and before you know it, you are building your work. But no, in SQL, I also use a script to dump the information there. So at that point, I'm not going to use my create statement again. I'm using another statement called what? Insert. Insert will allow me dump information in my database. So how do we use insert statement? On my slide, I thought I have insert there. Yeah, I have insert there. So you can just use your insert statement, insert into, mention the name of the table you want to insert into. You can mention the column, it's not compulsory, and just say values and put your values there. Mind you, anyone that is a string, you must put it in single quotes. If it's a number, just type it straight up. Now, let me insert one instruction into this table. Let me come back. There are two things here now. Let me come back here and issue my insert statements. Insert. Oh, somebody's already yawning. Insert. Insert what? Insert into my table. What's the name of the table? Staff TB. What am I inserting into staff TB? Insert for me the following columns. Staff A, comma, address, comma, age, comma, and what? Salary. Now, once you are inserting this, the values should be what? The values should be what? The first value, that is name. help me put Ayodeji there, comma. After the name, the address, help me put Lagos there. After the address, comma, the next one is age. Help me put 22 there. After the age, help me put 120,000 there. Now, at this point, I can execute this instruction. Execute this instruction. It's telling me done. Let me come back here and check what I have here. So let me come back here and check what I have here. Can you see? I have Ayodeji, Lagos 22, 120,000. If I come here and say, look, this time insert Adeleke. Adeleke is from Oshun. The age is 34 and is collecting 100,000. Now watch me. And I type 100,000 like this. 100,000. Now look at the beauty of a database. Let me execute this instruction. Execute. It will tell me, young man, I will never allow you to dump 100,000 there because the instruction says that that column is an integer. That salary column is an integer. So the 100,000 you are trying to dump will not go. But let's go and try this in Microsoft Excel to see why people will never use Excel. Adeleke, Oshun, age 32, salary 100,000. I trust Excel. Excel will collect it gladly from me. And the day I want to analyze, this is enough to mess me up in my data analysis. But because I'm using an RDBMS, a structured database, at this point, it's not even allowing me to drop it. It came up with an error. So if I come here, it's not even allowing me. But let me come back here and correct it that, look, it's 100,000 I want to type. 100,000. Then let me execute the line. Sorry, why are you not executing? Oh, complete line. I like the whole line. Execute. Good. So let me go back there and you will see Adeleke is accepted now. This is what we talk about. Now let us go into data analysis for just 5 minutes and you will see the beauty of analyzing your data using SQL Server. Now, one of the things I would like to use, let me use any of these tools here. Let me use a database that is already existing, movie, let me see all the film that was shot. Let me see all the film that was shot. Good, I love this. These are the film that was shot. These are different countries. These are their run time, and so on and so forth. These are the ones that have won Oscar award. Good. Now, I want to see the top 10 movies that has ever won Oscar award. Or in a year, is there anything like date here? There is release date here. I want to see all the movie that was released in a particular date and group them by, the question can come anyhow. But if it is Power BI, you can use Q&A. If it is Excel, you can use pivot table. But yeah, I bet you there is no escape route here. You must type the script. That is the essence of now learning your data manipulation language, your DML. Your DML has the insert, update, and select. The main one I'm talking about here is your select. And your DCL is where you grant access, you add, or you revoke. While your DDL is where you create, you can drop the table if you don't need it again. But this is where we do our data analysis. Our select statement is powerful. I can use it to do anything I feel like doing. So let me see what I can do here. I can say select. Okay, let me see the total money realized That is box office dollar. What is the total revenue the industry, the movie industry has realized in dollars? I will just say sum, select. I must always start with select. Select what? Select, help me sum. What am I summing? Sum for me the box office. Sum for me the box BOX office dollar. Now that is just a column. That is this column. I want to sum everything in this column. If it is Power BI, you will just drag it on a card and you have your answer. If it is Excel, you just use pivot table. You have your answer. But here, select. What am I selecting? I want to sum a column called box office dollars. Now, from where? From the name of the table. The name of this table is called movie. From movie. I mean, from film. You know, the table is film. I may just drag it because I don't want to type. I can just drag it and drop it. Look at what I drag it from here and I drop it. Select, sum this from film. But what am I summing? Is this thing correct? Why is he underlining it? Is there any spelling mistake there? Oh, dollar.
There's
Dollar
a
not
space.
correct. Dollar.
Oh, thank you
Okay.
very much. Aha, fantastic. So select, sum for me everything under this column from my film table. Now, what is the database? I've changed my database, observe, to movie. Otherwise, it will not give me the correct answer. Let me highlight and say execute. Look at the total. I cannot read this figure, but it's a big money, sha. This is million, billion, $253 billion was realized. Now, I don't like this name. So I can say as, when you are selecting this sum, don't just leave it as no column. Let it be called as what? Call it revenue. I love this. Let me run it again to see our revenue. This is our revenue. Somebody has said, no, don't just give me the revenue. Can you give me the revenue against country ID? Each country, what revenue did they give to us? So select the country ID, comma, revenue from this same table. But do something for me. Group your work, group your work by the what? The country ID. Is there's just like normal English. Let me execute. Each of the country ID, look at the revenue they made. Don't stop there. Order for me in descending order. Order by what? By my what? Revenue. By my revenue. As what? Descending. Now, that means the country with the highest revenue should come up first, which is this country, country 241. What is country 241? Let me come to country table and check country 241. Country 241, 241. 241 is United States. Okay. What of Nigeria? Is Nigeria there on the list? And Nigeria, where are you? Nigeria, 571. Let me go back to my results. Is there 571 here? How much did we make in 571? This is Ojoro. No 571 here. Okay, now.
I'm not seeing your screen.
Oh, you can't see my screen.
We can see it
Yes.
now. Maybe it's from your end.
You check for that.
Maybe it's from
We
your
can
end.
see it from this end too.
Okay, good. So you
I'm
can.
only getting the audio, but I can't see the screen.
Oh my
Check your
God.
data.
You can leave the meeting and quickly join, please. Let me give you 30 seconds to do that. Leave the meeting and join so that your screen can load. So that is, so I don't, any query anybody asks me, let anybody ask me any question on this data set. All I need to do is to type that script and I will get my answer. So please, the essence here is not, this is for industry, big organization, MTN, their database is running to billions of transactions. And you are building the work, is not for you, it's not self-service, it's for the enterprise. Then they will need you to start using tools like this. But if it's self-service or Power BI or Excel, those ones are for small projects. Like Excel, if you are trying to do a data analysis with Excel, Excel has limited number of rows. Like now, 1, 2, by the time you start entering data, if your data get to 41 million, let me go down, control, arrow down, 1,048,576 row, Excel will tell you that's the end. I can't go down again. I can go up, but I can never go down. This is the last row in Excel. So what if your data is 2 million? Excel will stop you at 1 million. Okay, I can't go further at that point. Now, even by the time it's getting near this, your Excel will be crawling to open. For those of you that have used 1 million record in Excel before, you understand what I'm talking about. But if you are using tools like Power BI, it will make life better. But when you are talking about enterprise solution, then get ready for MSBI. For those of you that want to really go into data analytics, full stack, then you are welcome into the industry of MSBI. So this is where we start doing all our serious analysis, but with the help of what? Scripts. So the script might look complex, but the more you know it, the better for you. I can do anything I want to do. I can do any form of analysis. I can do whatever I want to do, and my result is up. But the management has said, no, I don't want everything. Just give me the top 5. So I'll just add top 5 to my statements and execute. These are the top 5 countries that are doing wonders. But in Power BI, you can even use Q&A and say top 5 countries by revenue. You give it to you. But yeah, you must know how to use SQL scripts. We'll get the same answer, but this is much more stronger, durable, and compared to other tools, this allows you to express yourself the way you might want to express yourself. So that is that about that. So the DAS I mentioned is also here. So your analysis service, DAS query, and I told you not only DAS query, you can do MDS query, you can do DMX query, you can do XMLLA query, all these ones. But the one that is common now because of Power BI is your data analysis expression, which is close to Microsoft Excel functions and formulas. So I will not want to really hold you down so much. Let me allow us interact, ask questions on what we've done so far or your expectation. Let's interact so that after that, I can hand over to Harry. So if you have any question, please raise your hands. It might be on what we've discussed, or you want to just clear your mind about some things around SQL Server or the MSBI or anything general as far as it has to do with data analytics. It can even be Excel or Power BI comparing with this. Let's feel free. Let's clear all doubts. Please raise your hand if you have any question for me. So if not, Harry, are you ready? Okay, I can see 2 hands up. Olajide Lukman, let's have you. Olajide, over to you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, how are you?
Good evening. Fine,
Yes.
thank you. My question is, I want to know what is the difference between this SQL and Access? It seems as if they operate the same way.
Fantastic. SQL and Access, they operate the same way. If you are very good in Access, I can say you've done about half, close to half of what you need to learn in SQL. So access is structured, but is not fully structured. So I will tell you that access also have limits. If your database start getting to 25 million, access will mess you up big time. It's not for enterprise solution. So, but SQL is for enterprise solution, big data sets. So please, for those of you that are using access, let me, like I showed to you, Excel has a limit of 1 million rows. Access, if it's getting to 25 million transaction, you now start seeing Excel messing you up seriously, big time. So it's similar, but it is not a full RDBMS database like SQL Server. So I can call it baby SQL Server. So Lajide, I hope I'm clear.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm okay.
Idris, over to you, Idris.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay. Actually, it's on my own is on expectation and suggestion at the same time.
Okay.
Few of us here are new to SQL Server,
Okay.
and I was hoping the process of downloading it is tedious. So I was hoping if you can, using the WhatsApp or Telegram group, the procedure in getting all the stuffs we need for it should be stated out, if possible, with the screenshot of the stages and what we need to download.
Great.
That has to do with SQL and Power BI.
Oh, no, for Power BI is straightforward. Excel is straightforward.
Okay.
You don't have Excel on your screen. Power BI is quite straightforward. So,
Yes.
but for SQL Server, I might quickly run you through. Now, please, for Power BI, rules and regulations governing Power BI, you must be running on Windows 10 to enjoy Power BI. I'm not saying you cannot run on Windows 8, but I will recommend Windows 10. And please try to use a system that is fast enough. So if you are running Windows 10, you will see this icon on your Windows 10. That is called your store, your Microsoft Store. When you click on the store, once you click, the store will open. From the store, just type Microsoft Power BI. Type it on the search box on the store. But when you type Power BI, make sure you add desktop to it. There are different Power BI out there. There's a Power BI viewer. There is Power BI report builder. Please, it must be Power BI desktop. Just type it there, and that will solve the problem. Look at what I'm doing. Power BI desktop. That is all. Once you type it, you see the option there. Look at it, Power BI desktop. Just click on Power BI desktop and click on install or get. That is all. Within few minutes, depends on your look at install. Just click on install and allow, because it's already on my system. The install just into launch because it just discovered that you already have Power BI, so I will not install it. You can launch it. So that is that. So please, that's how to install Power BI. But for SQL Server, I'll give you the steps. I said number one, from your Google, just type download SQL Server and mention the year you want to download. But I've shared this link with you already. So please follow this link and come up there. The latest version is 2019. You can download it. So please don't forget, I told you we have the Express, we have the developer. These are the free version, but there are some limitations to them. If you use this, it's only for you as a developer. Don't ever use it for clients. And click on download to download it and install it. That is one. Follow the steps for installation. This one must come to your system first. After that, then you download and install the Management Studio. Management Studio is straightforward. Once you download this, this is the one I've been using to work. But anytime you launch it, you must connect to your engine. So this is the real engine at the top here, and this is what you use to. But to do the real Power BI full stack projects, please download this. I did not talk about this today. I already show us this, using it to work on this. That is all. But download this in preparation for MSBI full stack projects. So I'm going to share the installation guide with you on Telegram or WhatsApp so that you guys can try to explore. If there's any issue, raise your question on the group. So I will attend to your question at that point. So have I answered your question, Idris? Okay, I guess Idris is okay. So we now move to Salisu. Salisu, are you there?
Yeah, I am here. Wow.
Okay.
Thank you so much for putting all this time, and I like how you are doing it step by step. So actually, this is my first time attending any program on data analysis. So I'm just seeing new things. So everything is new and everything is awesome for me. So the question now I have with SQL is why the version? Like is it you can just choose any version, or why do you have to, because there are a lot of versions, so maybe anyone you like, or certain version is good for certain analysis. And also I understand that when you have a lot of data, then you go for MySQL, then you can skip you must skip Excel, Power BI, then you just go to the so does that mean I just need if, like, for me now I'm just starting, so I should just focus on Excel? I should not confuse myself with SQL, or I should just continue with all the three at once? Thank you so much. That's my question, actually.
Thank you very much for that brilliant question. Please, I will recommend number one, Microsoft Excel has turned to a general tool everybody is using. So please learn to use Microsoft Excel for data analysis. It's simple, it's easy to use. But you will get to a point where Microsoft Excel cannot help you. Power BI will be the solution. Power BI is simple, just like Microsoft Excel. It's easy to use. It's self-service. That means anybody can use it. You must not be a professional to use it. It's pure self-service tool. So you can use Power BI at that point. And for those of you that so much love Excel, you can use your Power BI within Excel. I don't know if Ari actually showed this to you, how to use Power BI within Microsoft Excel. Or you can use it as Power BI Desktop by downloading Power BI Desktop and use it on Power BI Desktop. But that is simply Power BI, because Power BI was added to Excel in year 2010 so that it can help you do more than what normal Excel can do. Around 2015, Power BI was put on its own as Power BI Desktop, and it's awesome. But all these, they are self-service. You don't need to go to school, you can do it yourself. But if you really want to do an enterprise solution, those ones will not help you. So that means is a career path you want to pick for yourself. Somebody who was on this call is an accountant. He spoke earlier today. So I might say, look, as an accountant, you can stop on Power BI. But if you know you want to take this as a career, inside out, a full stack data analyst, please Don't leave SQL Server. Add it to what add it to your add part of your tool. Add it to what you are learning. But if you know you are no, I'm not going full stack. I don't want to be like Shooks. I don't want to be like Harrison. Let me just stay where I am. Let me just be doing some small analysis for my department. Then Power BI is okay. Stop there. But if you really want to be a full stack guy, join us on SQL Server. So that is that. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, actually. And also, just today, someone asked me if I know SSBS. So also that one, I like the response from the group. I felt like, wow, I'm part of data analysis community now. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, like SPSS is an analytical tool, but it's not from Microsoft. So I think IBM bought it over. So SPSS is another powerful tool for data analysis. So that is, what's SPSS again? Statistical package for social scientists. SPSS, yeah. So any other question? Oluwatomisin, your hand is up.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Yeah, well done, sir. Great lecture today. I want to ask, please, you use PostgreSQL very well, right?
I use Postgre, of course.
The latest version.
I don't really know the latest version.
It's 14 now.
14, okay. So is there any issue with Postgre?
No, actually, before the class, I was actually practicing because I'm learning with Utiva.
Okay.
So, and Utiva teaches PostgreSQL.
Okay.
I'm learning from two institutes actually. The second one teaches MySQL, so it's just like so I'm just like. But the thing is that the Postgre actually, I want to ask that I had a problem while writing a code.
Okay.
I don't know, sir. That's why I'm saying that which version, because I'm having difficulties writing the character length.
Okay, good. Now
it doesn't work at all. It always gives me error because normally if I type it's supposed to show me that blue format that okay, this is the code.
IntelliSense is not coming up.
Yeah, but yes, that's it. So it's not showing me as a code. So if I run it, it's always giving me error. So I don't know if you can help with that, sir.
Okay. So what I can do at that point is maybe we take a section out of this section. You can discuss with Harrison. Harry, are you there? So we can take this outside this section. So we quickly look at your screen and we walk over that. So immediately after this section, look at that.
That will be fine. That will be fine, sir.
So thank you very much, Oluwatomisin. So please, but you see that code is the same thing. The code you use on SQL Server is the same. And please, thank you for asking that question. I will recommend this site for all of you. Please, W3 School.
Yeah,
Please, all of you go to this site, W3 School. It's a good site to start learning anything you feel like learning. HTML, Java, all this stuff. But server side, we are talking about SQL or MySQL. So let's talk about general SQL. So this is the SQL part. So everything you need to learn on SQL, you have them here. Please feel free to start learning so many things as far as SQL is concerned. So thank you very much. Thank you for raising that question. Any other question, please? Any other question? Okay, so I have my time is up. So I would like to hand over to Harry if he's on the call. If not, Shooks, I formally hand over to two of you. So thank you very much. So you can always follow me on my on my, what's it called? LinkedIn. Ayodeji Folarin is the name, or at Deji Folarin, or my website, dejifolarin.com. So I look forward to meet all of you next year when we'll be running the full-fledged curriculum. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. It was awesome.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Deji, for taking the class. And I believe every one of us here, we really enjoyed the section, and I bet you don't miss the court, because it's going to really expose you to a lot of things. All what you just see today are just like scratch picking from, just try to pick one or two things from all around what you are supposed to know about each of these packages. And in the court is going to be, it's going to be a full package. Okay, let me share my screen so that you see what I'm talking about. Here is my screen. Okay, so let me bring this up. So we, for the January cohort, we will you will learn freelance on Upwork using the full business intelligence and data science course. And this course is going to run for a period of 5 weeks. So what will you learn during this period of 5 weeks? Number one, you are going to learn Power BI. You are going to learn data analysis using Excel. You are going to learn business intelligence analysis using Power BI. You are going to learn introduction to SQL Server for analysis, and Python for data science. And then, of course, we will look at the rudiment of entrepreneurship and freelancing on Upwork. And what are the modalities we are going to look at? It's the date for this is January 2022, and then time will be from 7 to 9 p.m. And like we said, it's going to run for 5 weeks. So the date it will start, we will also share the flyer around, send you mails to update you, and the location of your Microsoft Teams, and early birds, those are registered on time, will get a discount. We get a 25% discount, which is 75K. But if you are paying late, you'll be paying 100K for that. And one of the things that we are going to really expose us to is how you can earn on Upwork. Okay, so many people, they are out there, they know these things, they are certified, but they don't know how to earn with it. You can sit at the comfort of your house, and then you make your money in dollars and on Upwork. So this is another giveaway on this particular a particular package that is happening by January. So just keep your fingers crossed. We will get to share this information fully on the flyer with with each and every one of us. So also I will be dropping the link for the feedback. Okay, we'll drop the link for the feedback where you give your feedback as per the as 3 day section that you have involved, or that you have participated in. So before we go today, since we still have like 2 more minutes to go, I would just like maybe one or two of you, but this time around you are going to put on your camera. You tell us, just give us an oral feedback on this 3 days section that you have participated in. So please, you can quickly do that by raising your hand. Then I give you the permission to speak. You on your mic, and you on your camera, so that we can see you. You tell us your name, and then you give us your, then you tell us, then you give us feedback based on this training. Maybe one, two, or three persons can actually do that. So I'm waiting. Okay, still waiting. Oluwatomisin, do you want to say something?
It's not really.
So just
No,
on
thank
your car. Okay. So we just need feedback from like two persons. Just on your camera, and then speak to us about your experience so far three from the 3 days section. All right. So thank you very much, Sadisu Salisu. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me say something. Okay.
All right. Go ahead, please. You can unmute your mic. Your mic is mute. You can unmute your mic and speak to us. Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Well, unfortunately, I attended the first day. I missed the one yesterday, and
Okay.
also I managed to meet of today. But
Okay.
from all of it, it was awesome. As I said, this is my first time actually or data analysis, and I've been running away from it for a while, but it turns out I need it. So I just
Okay.
I joined this one thinking all the facilitators make it as simple as ABC, just as fitting data, analyzing data. I know it takes a lot more than that, but for me, as starting, also being afraid of it from the peer I have, from learning data science or data analysis. Um, I will always remember this because this is my first experience, and I do support research in data collection and data collection. So I know with time I will need to be I'll be involved in data analysis. So thank you so much for this whole lot of experience. And I have two people I think I feel this should attend the full cohort course, and I
Okay.
will speak to them. I wish they also join me on this. I wasn't expecting it to be this easy, but actually it was easy. The whole process was easy. I look forward to exploring more about data science, data analysis. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Okay.
the time.
Thank you very much, Salisu, for that mind-blowing feedback. So Adeleke Adedeji. Okay, over to you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I want to start by saying a very big thank you to you and your team. Um, right from the first day, it's been an eye opener. Though the 3 days might seem to be short, but at the same time, those 3 days are quite of very great value, loaded with so many things, within that short period of time. I want to appreciate Resolytics magnanimity to deliver this free, to us. And for me, it's something that will ever appreciate. So I want to thank you and say a big thank you to your team as well, your team members. You guys have done well. I'm just starting my journey in terms of data analytics. I'm actually interested in data science. I've been trying my hands on Python, myself, on R, to see what I can come out with. But having a bit of knowledge of data analytics will also help me to transit into data science fully. Currently, I do academic analysis actually using SPSS, Smart PLS, Data, JABS, and all that. So I've really learned a lot in these 3 days of free training. I want to appreciate you guys, and I feel that a relationship has started, which we'll build on, and then because we won't forget Resolytics for this that you have done. Thank you very much. God bless you and wish you well in your company. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Adeleke. So we really appreciate your feedback. So also we will send we'll be sending out the we'll be sending out we'll be giving links to these videos, these 3 days videos, to everyone so that you can have access to them and then be able to lay your hand on one or two things that you can find within the video. And we hope to see some of you at the cohort. And also we will also want you to fill the feedback form so that we can also have that. That will help us in order to plan for more sections like this so that other persons can also benefit. So thank you very much. Your feedback are valuable to us, and we really appreciate. So see you guys by January, and have an happy new year and happy celebration ahead of you. So thank you. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.